Hey everybody, what I got to show you today is the Mantis X shooting training system. This little device attaches to your rifle, your pistol, or even an air gun and will track your movements right before you take your shot. It'll show you where your shot is and it'll show you your follow through as well. That can be really handy, especially in the area of pistols where a little bit of trigger finger can pull your gun to one side or push it to the other. Really handy, and it actually shows you, the Mantis X will show you how you're tracking before you take the shot, and it does that through your smartphone or through probably a tablet, maybe even a smartwatch, but it'd be pretty small. And we'll actually show you that. So if you have a repeated pull to the right every time, it's going to show you that. It's going to say, hey, you're pulling to the right. It's also going to tell you how to correct that issue. So let me take it out of the box. I'll show you what's inside, and we'll go through a little bit of setup, and I'll show you how it works. So here it is, guys. Inside the box, you'll find a quick start guide. You'll find a charger cord, an attachment screw. They'll give you a decal, and then in this little guy here is the actual device itself. It comes with another mounting screw like this, except this is a thumb screw, and that's it. Right here is where it attaches to your Picatinny rail. Well, let's go ahead and do that next. Guys, a quick timeout for safety. Since I do have firearms in the room, and this is a training exercise, I have made sure that there is no live ammunition in the room, anywhere in the room. So there is no chance of any kind of AD going on here. Also checked my chambers, and what you'll see in my magazines here for both my rifle and my pistol is called snap caps. These are by Zoom or something like that. These are just metal mock look-alike little bullets that don't do anything except absorb the hit from your hammer, your firing pin when you pull the trigger. So nothing in this room is live. These firearms are dead, and there is no chance of anything. So if you're going to train with this, make sure to take that step. Check, double check, even triple check to make sure you're being safe. So guys, here's the Mantis X. This is the device that attaches to your rifle or your pistol. It has a front and a back. The front edge is tapered. The back edge has the plug-in port. In order to attach it, you unscrew, in this case, a thumb screw. Now it comes with a slotted head screw as well, and if you were to attach this to whatever you wanted to for a long period of time, or just kind of keep it on there, I would use the slotted head screw versus the thumb screw. By pinching your fingers kind of together, like this type of motion, you can spread the plastic casing apart. Then slip it over your rail. You can also do this with the screw installed. Line up, give it a squeeze, because otherwise the threads won't hit. So you want to give it a little squeeze first and then tighten it up. Now this is installed on my pistol in the forward direction. That's important to know for later on when you set it up. One of the first things you want to do after you check your weapon, make sure it's safe, is turn it on by this little button down here. Just a quick push, and there's a little green light that comes on and flashes. That way you know that's on there. The next screen on your smartphone, when you download the app, you'll open it up, and it says connect. So hit connect. Boom, it's connected. So now we're going to go through the introduction process. After it connects, it'll go to start intro course. You'll see this screen here, and you can also scroll down. There's open. You can open up training, Mantis X benchmark. I'm not really sure what that is. Timed benchmark, compressed surprise break. These are all different drills that you can do. Reload in battery, reload out of battery, reload tactical, primary hand only, support hand only. So it does a lot of different type of drills to help you out and to become a better shooter. So we'll start the intro course. And step 1, do 5 shots, dry practice in open training. So go ahead and hit open training, and it gives you the instructions. Shoot any number of shots at any pace, review your scores, and trace view. This drill is not timed. So go ahead and continue. The next screen you come to is a setup screen, and it's kind of important to get this right because this is what's going to tell the program all about what the Mantis X is doing on your firearm and how you're shooting your firearm or your air rifle. So I've got dry fire selected, right hand, and a forward direction on the Mantis X. So you can mount this forward or backwards. And that comes in handy when if you have a rail that's not quite like the one on this firearm is, that can come in handy if you have another accessory or something and you're kind of cramped for space. It gives you the option of at least turning it around to try to get it to work. Also on the screen you can see I've got G19 9x19. In the settings area you can actually name your gun. You can pick from a list of common manufacturers, and so it knows exactly what you're shooting. Next screen that pops up says it's analyzing my movement data in real time and looking for dry practice shots. Go ahead and take 5 shots now. That last one was bad. I felt it. I anticipated. So with each one of those, it's going to give you a score on this bullseye screen. And that last one was a 77.9. Looks like it might have missed one of my shots. It only has 4 down, so I'll go ahead and reload another snap cap and take another shot. Okay, shot 5. Cool. Great shooting. Go ahead and tap the stop button to see summary of statistics. So there you go. Now it's going to tell you a tutorial about reading each chart as you go through it. So the first screen that it's going to show you is this bullseye looking chart here. And what this tells me is I pushed left twice. And you can see at the picture I'm going to put up, there's 2 red lines on the left side. So I pushed left twice. I pulled right and up a little bit. I did that twice. And then probably my 4th shot was the one where I anticipated a little bit and went down. And also on the bottom of the screen you can see possible causes. Too little trigger finger, too much trigger finger, it'll tell you. You're gripping it too tight. It's got all kinds of stuff like that. The next screen over is a chart. It shows you your scores for each shot during the session and a chart for the hold movement and trigger press movement before each shot. Hold movement is calculated by looking at the movement before the trigger press, while trigger press movement analyzes the movement during the quarter second before the shot breaks. So, quarter second beforehand. The next screen you'll see is probably the most exciting. It's giving you 3 different color lines, a blue, a yellow, and a red. Blue is coming up, zeroing in on your shot. Yellow is actually trigger pull. There's a red X between where the yellow and the red is, and then the red is going to be your follow through. So this is really going to tell you a lot. So I've zoomed in this on my 4th shot by hitting the number 4 and then just spreading my fingers apart on the screen, and what you can see is the blue line squiggling all over the place. I probably have a little bit of caffeine in me, and then the yellow shot came, and that's where you can see I dove. I felt it when I pulled the shot. That I dove and I anticipated the shot, and you can see that because the yellow line dips. Looks like I also pushed a little bit left with my trigger finger, and then the shot broke, and then it was a follow through, which in most cases is going to be straight up, especially with a pistol with recoil. In this case mine goes down because I'm using the snap caps, so I just click. But in most cases it's going to go straight up, and it's going to be very obvious where it is. So another neat feature of this is if you go back a few screens to the one with the bullseye on it, it says here too little trigger finger. If I hit those buttons, it comes up with a new screen that says too little trigger finger means that blah 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 blah. It tells you what it's telling you you're doing maybe incorrectly or that you can improve upon, and it tells you also how to correct it. One of the benefits to having that screen that tells you too little trigger finger is if you're shooting at the range with a partner and you're really focused and you don't want to come off and look at your phone or something like that, you can have a buddy sit there and watch the screen as you shoot, live fire, dry fire, whatever, and he can tell you. So you don't have to come off your focus. He can tell you, hey, you know, too little trigger finger, too much, you dove, whatever the case may be. So you don't have to break your concentration. It's got a page for history, which will keep all your historical data, so you can go back and review, and you can look and say, oh, I am improving over time. Also has groups, so you can join the Mantis X community, which I have not done yet, but you can join them and go online, and you can, I guess, maybe compete or something. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't looked into that. The last button on the bottom here is the settings. Obviously that's going to be settings. It's going to say it's going to give you instructions on getting the app, attaching the device, turning it on, charging, shooting drills, viewing performance, tracking history, and then common questions as well. It's going to walk you through some of that stuff. And I thought I saw somewhere on here is actually a place where if you have suggestions for Mantis X, it'll basically just give you a spot where you can just hit a button while you're shooting and you have internet connection and you can just kind of jot down your note. That's kind of cool because it's almost direct customer feedback to Mantis X while they're shooting. This is what I ran into, and I wish you guys had done this. So pretty smart thinking right there. In your settings you can find the full setup screen. This is where you choose, are you on a pistol or are you on a rifle? This is where you can choose, like I said earlier, your specific model of gun, or if you want to name it, there's also an other category, so you can go that way. Right, left hand, live fire, dry fire, CO2, forward or backwards, mount location, bottom, top, left, right, and then signing in, sign up, and a couple of other things as well. Here it is down at the bottom, report an issue. So if you have an issue, you can bing right as you're shooting. You can just shoot it right off to them in an email format. It's also got a thing here about not detecting shots. So every once in a while you may run into that. And that kind of sucks when that happens. So if you're running into that a lot, there's a setting in the advanced settings tab here which has shot detection sensitivity. So you can change that, or bullseye mode on and off. So that might be a quick fix to not detecting your dry fire shots. So guys, I wanted to give you a close-up of this shot. There's a little dot right there. As I pick up my weapon, every time I steady, it kind of resets and realizes I'm over there. And then I steadied over there, and that's how it's working. Every time you make drastic movements, it's not really going to know what to do, but when you steady out, it's going to refocus on that. And it's going to show you, I've had caffeine today. But this is a cool little screen I found that was just fun to watch, a little dot going around. For you firearm shooters, this is a PCP air rifle. It's got a high pressure cylinder here, and it's what I primarily shoot is air guns, also known as a pellet gun. And this is one of those scenarios I wanted to show you where I'm running into not having enough room here. Now I have done this where I've connected it via zip tie to the front of the rifle. So I wanted to try this today, flipped around backwards so that it will fit. Oops. Just like so, give it a squeeze and tighten it up. Now it's on the rifle. I go through my settings on my phone and let it know that it's turned around. It's on a CO2 or air cylinder, and turn around backwards, CO2, and it's on the bottom side of the rifle. And that's it. Let's see how it works. So I've got it all set up as I need to. Loaded a pellet. So there you go, guys, working with a PCP air rifle. Keep in mind, guys, if you're using this on a rifle, with a bipod or sandbag or some kind of rest, when you come up to this bullseye screen to see your shot pattern and your squiggly line, you're not going to see much right away. It's basically going to be a little X like I'm showing you here. If you zoom in, and I mean zoom in a whole lot, then you're going to get your squiggly line. Then you're going to be able to see exactly what's going on right before and as you pull the trigger. I think the Mantis X is a really cool thing to help you become a better shooter or polish your shooting skills. Another way that I've kind of coached myself is with using a video camera and just filming myself shoot, and that can tell you some big errors, like, oop, I'm anticipating. It's going to show that pretty clearly, especially if you have like if you're filming in slow motion or something like that. But even with a camera, it's only going to be able to show you so much. This is going to be able to show you a lot more detail, and on top of that, it's also going to be able to give you those coaching tips like I showed you earlier, where you push the words and it says, this is what's going on, this is how you might be able to fix that. Those words can be pretty darn valuable if you don't have a shooting coach or a shooting buddy that's well versed in the sport of shooting. That stuff can really go a long way to help you to polish your shooting skills. There's a lot more to the Mantis program and the Mantis community and all that stuff, so I encourage you to go online, check it out. I don't know if I said retail price on this is 150 bucks, and that's pretty much all I've got. I'm really happy with it, and I can plan on continuing to use it. I hope you enjoyed this review. As always, happy shooting, and thanks for watching.